actually $10.2 billion. Of that $10.2 billion, the federal government portion was just $7 billion. And then the states, chiefly Lagos State, owed the balance. As I speak to you right now, our foreign debt is $36 billion. And then just, I think it was 4 days ago, this man has already put in another request to the National Assembly to approve another loan of $6 billion. Now, Nigeria is so indebted that our debt to revenue ratio is now 90%. Now, a lot of you might not understand what that means. What that means is that for every 1 naira that we have, we're spending 90 kobo servicing debt. So right now, we don't have a democracy. We don't have a functioning government. We are almost a failed state. And if nothing is done very soon, I just pray and hope that there will be a Nigeria in 2023.
Okay, yes, it's very easy for you to criticize the current government, but would you admit that your own government had loads of issues? Otherwise, someone like myself, let me speak for myself, there is no way I would have opposed the government that was doing well. I think your government was rather profligate. Your government was also very reckless. And after 16 years of PDP, a lot of us got tired of that government. And we felt it was time to sack you. Yes, it's possible we made a mistake bringing a worse government, but your government was also not doing very well, and that is why we opposed you.
Well, that is not true. And, I deal in facts. Can you hear me?
I'm listening to you, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Now, that's not true. And I deal in facts. I don't deal in hearsay. If you recall, at that time, the APC had a spokesman by name, Timmy Frank. Now, Timmy Frank has since left the APC, and then he released a statement. This statement was released 2 years ago, where he said that we used lies and propaganda. I'm quoting him. These are not my words, that we used lies and propaganda to demarket the Jonathan administration. I'll give you some very good examples. You had an instance whereby the then governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, a man by the name Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, made an accusation and said $49 billion was missing from the Federation account. It was a lie. It's been proven to be a lie. And then later on, he came out with another allegation. He said 22 billion, then 12.9 billion. Eventually, he settled for 10.8 billion. We've been out of office now for 6 years. All those were lies. And it's not just that. Look at what happened with the Chibok girls, with the Chibok affair. Now, we bring back our girls. Look at the leadership of bring back our girls. Now, I believe it was I can't remember the exact date. The then chairman of the All Progressive Congress, he was an interim chairman, Audu Ube, was at a rally and he said, Bring Back Our Girls were led by members of our party. And then after Muhammadu Buhari became president, one of the founders of Bring Back Our Girls became the chairman of the Nigerian Ports Authority, the second biggest parastatal in Nigeria. So it's not just that. If you want to talk about our administration, we have to deal in facts. Now, I'm not going to talk about what I'm saying or what you're saying. We're going to deal in facts. Now, let's look about corruption. According to Transparency International, Nigeria is now more corrupt now than at any time under our administration. As a matter of fact, since the history of Transparency International, and don't forget, Transparency International was founded in 1998, Nigeria made her best improvement in the Corruption Perception Index under our administration in 2014, where we moved 8 steps forward from 144 to 136. Today, we've gone 14 steps backward. We are now at 148. Now, let's talk about facts. According to the Global Terrorism Index, and you know the Global Terrorism Index is a function of the World Economic Forum. It's not controlled by me, it's not controlled by you. According to the Global Terrorism Index, Nigeria right now is more terrorized than at any time under our administration. During our administration, we were the 4th most terrorized nation in the world. Today, we are the 3rd most terrorized nation in the world. So these are facts. Look, the issue is that we had a God-fearing leader in former President Jonathan. My column in this day, 2 weeks ago, I talked about how when I wanted to attack Bola Tinubu, when Bola Tinubu went to Ilori to tell lies against former President Jonathan, he summoned me. For the first time, is somebody, and you yourself, you know how close I am to former President Jonathan. And fatherly, he told me, no, I don't want you to do this, Reno. I want you to tell Nigerians about my achievements. Now, maybe that was our failing. Maybe because we
let me stop you there. But the same government, since we're dealing with facts, allowed former President Olusegun Obasanjo to be labeled as a thug. You agree with me?
No, that's not true. That is not true.
What do you mean by it's not true?
Can I respond to that?
Respond to it.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, respond to it. It's a fact.
When that incident happened, as you know, I was a pastor in Abuja, and one of my members, and a lot of people do not even know this, one of my members was Chief Femi Fani-Kayode. And then there were newspaper, I think it was newspaper editorials where those things were put. And then Chief Femi Fani-Kayode called me and said, look, why are you guys allowing this? And I said, look, we have nothing to do with this. I called Ruben Abati. I called Oronto Douglas. We had absolutely nothing to do with that. Now, one thing you have to understand is that in a government, there are sometimes fifth columnists. And fifth columnists are not new in Nigeria. We've always had them right from the government of Gowon. These are people that are in your administration, but then they are undermining you to make you look bad so that there can be regime change. I don't know if you read my book.
There was a direct response from your government. There was a direct, this is not a question of fifth columnists. There was a direct response in which the presidency got angry with President Obasanjo for saying certain things that your government did not like.
From whom? That's what I'm saying. From whom?
Dr. Ruben Abati responded specifically to President Obasanjo, and there were occasions when you responded to different people. Even I was responded to, though myself and Ruben Abati, we settled later because he's my colleague, he's my friend, he's my brother, he's someone I love so much. But we had bitter altercations. Trust me. So,
can I respond to that?
Yes, respond.
Yes. So I know for a fact that Ruben Abati never called Obasanjo a thug. Now, perhaps there must be somebody, if you can be specific and say, okay, this person. But as a government, nobody. Now, former President Jonathan had 3 official spokesmen. He had Ruben Abati, he had myself, and then later on in the 3rd year of our administration, they brought in
Doyin Okupe. Yeah.
None of us ever called for former President Olusegun Obasanjo a thug. And I don't know if you're aware, and probably as we're speaking, thank God this is on Zoom, a lot of people can Google this. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo is someone that I'm very, very fond of. However, when he wrote his letter to then President Jonathan issued a circular. I still have that circular. I mean, if I knew this question was going to come out, I would have printed it and I would have shown it to you because I'm a meticulous record keeper. And he told everybody in media, says, nobody should respond to Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. I will respond to him myself. And then if you go back to that response, you see how he responded to former President Obasanjo, calling him Baba, calling him Sir, calling him Oga. So where is this thought? Maybe somebody, maybe I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody in the periphery, somebody that we had to control of, must have called me a dog. But no official spokesman of that administration, including the principal himself, the president, ever. Why would we call former President Olusegun Obasanjo a dog?
I don't want us to flog this issue, but I just wanted to say that your government on certain occasions had issues with certain personalities, including President Obasanjo, including Professor Wole Soyinka. There were issues. There were serious issues and altercations. So, but for me...
Let me respond to that, please.
Yes.
Let me respond to that. With Professor Wole Soyinka, let's deal in facts here. Wole Soyinka was rude to the president and his wife. And yet, we never responded to him. Go back and check the facts. You have probably maybe hundreds of people watching this. They can Google. They can research this. Wole Soyinka actually called the then First Lady, the Patience Jonathan, a hippopotamus. I'm using his exact words. He was very rude to her and her husband. Yes, we did not respond to Professor Wole Soyinka because he is a national icon. Listen, when you are, and this is not operational right now, but I'm talking about our time. When you are a president and you're a presidential spokesman, you have to be willing to absorb insults without responding. I mean, a lot of your people now watching on Zoom will remember that time that I was, myself and Ruben Abati were some of the most insulted people on planet Earth. But we absorbed the insults.
Anyway, that's okay. That's okay. But on the issue of profligacy, your government went on a binge. You spent money and the results were minimal. I mean, one of the ones I remember very. Oh yeah, you were in government. You were in government for at least 5 years. You were in government for at least 5 years, and you couldn't complete the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The same thing Buhari now has not been able to complete in 6 years.
Please, can I respond to that?
Oh, of course. That's why I'm telling you. I want you to respond. 5 years to finish one road. You couldn't. 6 years, Buhari has not been able to finish the same road.
Might I respond? On the issue of profligacy, that is not true. That is false. And I'm going to give you facts because I deal in facts. Now, here's the situation. When our administration came on board, we came on board May 6, 2010. That's when the then president came in after the death of former President Yaradua. And then we left on May 29, 2015. As at the time when we came in, there were 12 states without federal universities. By the time we were leaving office, all Nigerian states had federal universities. We built 14 brand new universities. We also built 165 Almajiri schools. The single biggest infrastructure in Nigeria right now, since the creation of Nigeria in 1914 to today that I've taken to you, May 23rd, 2021, the single biggest infrastructure in Nigeria is the Kaduna-Abuja Superfast 187-kilometer railway. We started that project and we finished that project. That project was done by our administration. Our administration also built along with Shogo 2 power station. We built Geregu. We also built the 750 megawatt AFAM. This our administration, we did. I mean, in terms of project, I mean, ideally, fast, I can bring a document.
No, on electricity. So, what were your achievements on electricity?
Administration history of no, but allow me land, please. Allow me land. Allow me land, please. I'm going to go there. Allow me land. So when we came into when we took office, our GDP was about $410 billion. By the time we left office, our GDP was almost $600 billion, and we overtook South Africa and became the single largest economy in Africa. And not just that, according to CNN Money, we were the third fastest growing economy in the world. After China and Qatar, we were number 3. So when you say that there was profligacy, again, that is the problem.
No, you have not answered the original question about why you couldn't finish Ibadan Lagos Expressway in 5 years. No. So that's why I am asking one by one. You are the one that went into trains and all those. I've not reached that side. I've not reached the side of the airport. I'm talking specifically about a road for 5 years that you could not finish one road. That's that. Do you accept that? So then we can move on.
No. See, that's the thing. I deal in facts. The reason why I brought this up is because of the way you asked that question. You said that we were profligate, we did not do projects, and then you gave an example. So I was laying the groundwork and telling you the projects that we did. For the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, that road was not a public works project. Now, when I say a public works project, you're talking about a project by the Federal Ministry of Works. It was a PPP, private public partnership, and then it was being done by two administrations. On one side, from the Ibadan side, it was being done by Julius Berger, and then on the Lagos side, it was being done by Julius Berger, and then on the Ibadan side, it was being done by oh my God,
RCC was doing.
Yeah, RCC, exactly.
Yes.
RCC. Yes, RCC. So it was a PPP. Now, I don't know if you understand what PPP is. PPP is private-public partnership. And so you give these people and say, okay, this is the road, you do it. As a government, after you have signed an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with a PPP, you can't come and start saying that, okay, you're not doing this, you leave it to them. Now, in terms of that road, that PPP, they advanced a lot, they did a lot. The reason why even this administration is, their hands are, they've not been able to do this is because that model is still in place. Now, you have to understand this thing, that Nigeria probably makes, in a very, very good year, we make about probably $25 billion in a very, very good year. Now, the state of New York, the city of New York, not even the state of New York, the city of New York makes 5 times that amount. The airport in Atlanta, that was built by Andrew Young, makes more money than the federal government of Nigeria. So when you're talking about projects, at any point in time, when that 25 billion comes in, and that's in a good year, about 48% of that is going to go towards paying salaries. If you as a government say, okay, you want to stop that, you're going to reduce salary, or you're going to sack workers, you will not last 6 months. So you have to use wisdom. And that's what we did. We did a PPP. Once you do a PPP, you cannot go back and start saying, okay, why are you not doing this? What you can do, you urge the contractors that are doing it, look, can you go a bit faster? And the president did that. He actually went to the expressway, and people who are watching me can actually Google this. He went there, he went on one of their machines, and then was helping them in doing the process along.
Well, Mr. Reno Omokri, I love the way you pick your words. You are very smooth. But I want to insist that a lot of time and resources were wasted on that project. At a point, you remember that Dr. Wale Babalakin was involved, but there was so much politics and politicking that stalled it. If any government is seriously interested in completing a project, they will make sure they overcome all the bureaucratic bottlenecks. So I'll leave that and go to...
No. I need to respond to that.
Okay, please go on. Please go on. I don't want to stress you, but feel free.
The issue with Wale Babalakin was a contractual issue. It had nothing to do with our administration. You have to forget that this is a democracy, or rather, that administration was a democracy. We are no longer a democracy now. And so when there is a signed contract, and the contract with Wale Babalakin preceded us, I think the contract with Wale Babalakin came from the Obasanjo era, although it might have been Yaradua, but I think it was the Obasanjo era. So you can't just come up and say, okay, because you are a government, you are going to... No, you have to follow contracts, you have to follow the rule of law. And that's what happened in that instance. 5
years for me, you should have cleared all the bottlenecks if you really meant business. But let's move on to something else, because Isaiah, I don't want this interview to be too long so people can enjoy it. Now, you had, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, a president from the minority, Bayelsa, probably the smallest state in Nigeria, okay? And with all the problems that confronted the Ijaw nation, the South, and everything, you had a president for 5 years. How come your administration could not achieve the restructuring that we are now all clamoring for?
Now, I'm going to respond to that. It's false to say that our administration did not achieve the restructuring that we are now clamoring for. The full total restructuring that Nigerians wanted, because that is not done by the president, it's done by the National Assembly. And I'm sure you know that the National Assembly is done by numbers. The core north they have the numbers. We don't have the numbers in the south and in those portions of Nigeria that want restructuring. So when we were in office, the kinds of restructuring that you could do without going to the National Assembly, we did them. The president he initiated and signed the Freedom of Information Act. Now, that's why you're able to know how much Muhammadu Buhari spends on food and travel today. Before the Freedom of Information Act, you did not know how much Yar'Adua spent. You did not know how much Obasanjo spent. It was us. It was former President Jonathan that signed the Freedom of Information Act. That means that anybody in Nigeria can go and you pay, I think it's 10 naira, and then you have the freedom to get information. It cannot be hidden. That's part of restructuring. We did that. And then we set up the Oron-Sonye panel, and the Oron-Sonye panel was basically to streamline government and say, okay, well, if now we've streamlined the government, you're going to have going to be able to reduce the expenditure of the federal government. That's part of restructuring. We did that because we didn't have to go to the National Assembly. Also, part of restructuring, and then one of the things that people in the Southwest, they probably might appreciate, is that with our administration, what then President Jonathan did was that he said, in the budgeting cycles, when you're doing budgeting, you have to tie every line item. So people can go to the budget and say, okay, well, we're comparing this, we're comparing that, and then nothing's been done. We didn't have that before. But to have a situation for restructuring like what we have, what we want now, maybe you want an extra state for the Southeast, which is something that you have to do at the National Assembly level, or you want a true federalism whereby the states control their taxes and their own revenue, and then they pay taxes to the federal government. You can't achieve that. Even you, Dele Momodu, if you had won the presidential election in 2011 and become president, you can't do that with an executive order because that's a constitutional issue. And then because it's a constitutional issue, then President Jonathan set up the National Constitutional Conference. And then he brought people from every tribe in Nigeria, every aspect of Nigeria, youths, civil society, the military, every segment of Nigerian society. And then they set up, they came up with, I believe it was about 680 resolutions. The president handed these resolutions to the National Assembly. And then people that had the numbers killed it. And then it's not just that even those people that had the numbers. Somebody like Rotimi Amechi, who was then governor of Rivers State, even joined, and they killed this thing there. So it's very difficult if you want to have, except you're going to say, okay, maybe the military is going to come back, and God forbid, we don't want that. But if you want to restructure as a president, you cannot do much except the National Assembly. You are able to get a 2/3 majority of National Assembly to be carried along.
Pastor Reno Omokri, do you agree with me that the president of Nigeria is probably the most powerful president on earth? He's the only president who has the capacity to do many things unchallenged. And if indeed you wanted to restructure, we would have felt it. It would be everywhere. We would have felt it. And he would have been able to call all the important people. And I'm not just blaming President Jonathan. Even President Olusegun Obasanjo today, I'm sure, would want a form of restructuring or whatever. He too did not do it for 8 years. So I'm just wondering why we had to go through this torture, when we've had people who were so powerful, they could turn a man into a woman. And yet it never occurred to them to use the power that they had to make sure that the right things were done for Nigeria. Because we will not be going through all these issues, all these crises, conflagration that we have today, if they had done the right things at that time.
But that's what I'm telling you, Bodele. I mean, you can't use emotion. You've got to focus on facts. You're talking about the Nigerian president being so powerful, the Nigerian president being so powerful. The Nigerian president has some powers, but it's not as powerful as a president like Putin. You have to, for example, now, if you, Bodele, are president, how can you give financial autonomy to the states and say, okay, now the states, you can collect your revenue, all the resource control, I give it to you. It's not, you cannot do that. If you try to do that, I mean, a state like Kano, Jigawa, Sokoto, they will take you to court in less than 2 weeks. It's not going to come crashing down. You have to, all those things, they require a constitutional amendment. And I believe that, that you are sufficiently aware to know this. You can't do that. We talk about President Jonathan has restructured Nigeria. Before former President Olusegun Obasanjo came, the derivation to all producing states was just about 3%. It was former President Olusegun Obasanjo that increased it to 13% because he had the power by the constitution to do. Then there was the issue of the onshore-offshore dichotomy. And then they were not getting derivation on offshore. So all the money, all the oil that was coming from offshore, they were not getting derivation. And the state like Akwa Ibom was desperately poor. It was former President Olusegun Obasanjo that you say no, 30% must be for onshore and offshore. The states were going to go to court. He called them. He talked to them. So Obasanjo and former President Jonathan, they did what they could do. But even you. If you are made president, you cannot give the states control of their resources without a constitutional amendment. And there are forces. It's quite naive if you think that the president of Nigeria.
I am not. You know, Reno, that I am never naive.
Let me.
Okay, go on. I'll respond.
No. I said, no, sir. Sir, I don't mean that you are naive.
Okay, that's fine. No problem.
It would be naive of anybody to think that the president of Nigeria. Let me go on, sir. Can I go on?
Oh yes, I'm listening. I'm all yes. Okay. You know, I'm very patient.
It would be naive of anybody to think that the president of Nigeria can, on his own, say, I give you state police, I give you resource control, I give you the ability to collect taxes. You can't do these things. Those are constitutional issues. There are things that you can do. You can restructure by executive orders. But the vast majority of what restructuring calls for, you can't do this except you have a constitutional amendment.
Well, everywhere else it is called lobbying. Even President Joe Biden would reach out to the Republicans, despite the fact that they disagree vehemently with him on many issues. He will reach out to them and he will try to get whatever he wants to get. That's what I meant. I didn't say you are going to just dictate or issue an executive order. I believe that a gentleman like President Jonathan, and I know our politicians, whosoever is the president in Nigeria, he has almost absolute power to do and undo. Because they want one favor or the other from him, trust me, he would have been able to get whatever. I didn't feel any sense of urgency in either President Obasanjo or President Jonathan to restructure. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he could have done it by force, by fire, by force, no. But if they truly wanted to do it, the whole world would have known that I tried, though I want to do it. Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm waiting for you now.
But let's be realistic here. You have a president who set up a national constitutional conference, brought everybody in the country, brought traditional rulers, brought students, brought everybody in the country. They reached 680 resolutions, including resource control, including state police, including all these things that you're talking about. They did that. So you're saying that, look, maybe you don't understand, not you, but maybe some people don't understand Nigeria. You know,
we understand Nigeria. That's why we're telling you that if any president wanted anything, he would have gotten it. But let's move on to my next question.
I disagree, sir.
Oh, that's fine.
No. Let me just take this.
Okay.
Let me just take this. I disagree, sir. Now, let me explain this. In the United States and in Europe, political parties are based on ideology. In Nigeria, political parties are not based on ideology. They are based on tribe. And that's the sad aspect of it. They are based on tribes. Now, we have to understand there is that in the core north of Nigeria, except maybe we're going to deceive ourselves, there is very, very little appetite for restructuring. They prefer the status quo because some people have convinced the masses of the core north that they benefit from the status quo, which is not true. But some people have convinced them that way. And they have the numbers. They have the numbers. A lot of people are not aware. If you look at the United Nations population figures, and it's going to shock you, the population of northern Nigeria is growing at almost twice the rate of the population of southern Nigeria. In terms of numbers, if the north collaborates with the southwest, they will always produce the president. And then in terms of number, I look at Kano State alone, one local government in Kano State has more voting power in the National Assembly than a state like Enugu, Anambra, or Bayelsa. Now, if these people do not have the appetite for restructuring, what are you going to do? It's going to Obasanjo, with his crowd, was not able to do it. Former President Jonathan, with the National Constitutional Conference, was not able to do it. So that's what we're talking about. We need to work with our brothers up north to build the appetite. If we just have people say that you are the president, you are so powerful and you refuse to do it, that means we are not understanding the issue. And 100 years from now, Nigeria is going to still be like this, and our children's children will still live like this because we are not understanding the issue.
Okay, Reno, now you've led me to another important area where you're talking about the population of the north almost being double that of the south. Again, I'll disagree with you. Because
no, I didn't say that.
You said almost double.
I said according to, no. Let me say what I said again. I said according to the United Nations population figures, that the population of the north is growing at almost twice the rate of the population of the south. I did not say that the north has a population that is twice the population of the south.
No, you said it's growing. Yes, it's still the same thing. You said it's growing, and that the northwest and the southwest. I'm going to your conclusion that the northwest and the southwest would always win every election, and I wanted to say I don't agree. I once wrote
that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Okay, maybe I didn't hear you there.
I said that if the north, I did not say northwest. I didn't say north. I said if the north and the southwest. So when you talk about the north, you're talking about the northeast and the northwest. If the north collaborates with the southwest, they will always produce the president, and that's a mathematical fact.
But I am telling you, I have written an article titled "In Search of Mathematicians." And the first time I ever spoke with the current Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, was the day the article came out. And he and Honorable Farouk, they called me. That was the first time they had hope that Buhari could win an election. It's a fallacy. The problem with the South, and forget whether South, Southeast, or Southwest, the problem with the South is the fact that they don't take politics as a vocation. So you will not see a Southerner who takes politics as a matter of life and death. You will not see voters who will go out, with young kids, with underage, and vote. That is why you think there is that numerical strength in the North. If someone, and that's what happened in the case of Chief Moshood Abiola, if someone is able to mobilize the people sufficiently, why couldn't Buhari win election on 3 occasions? He had friends everywhere, including in the Southwest. Why couldn't Atiku Abubakar win election? Atiku Abubakar, in fact, has a wife, Ajia Titi Abubakar, who is a Yoruba woman from Ilesha. Why couldn't he win an election? So it goes beyond just, it's a myth. That's where I'm going. The day you have someone, because you need 4. Just a minute, sir. You need 4 out of 6 regions to become president of Nigeria. You must lock down at least 4. Now, today, if you have a very popular candidate from either the south-south, southwest, or southeast, and is able to lock down the south and add parts of north-central to it, trust me, the guy will coast home to victory. So because I always feel bad when people continue to promote this myth of the North as if the North is just one entity. There is nothing so called. The North is not one entity.
Oh boy. That is not what I have said. You need to hear what I've said. The instances that you've given, I mean, I can actually give that because this is something that I've done all my life, other than 6 months of working in the bank after I graduated from law school. Look, the reason why Chief MKO Abiola won the 1993 presidential election is because of two people, the late Sheikh Musa Yaradua and Atiku Abubakar. What happened is that General Babangida...
You are talking about primaries, not general election.
No,
primaries.
I'm not talking about... I'm not...
I was directly involved.
But allow me land.
Okay.
And then if I land, then if I made factual errors, then you can contradict me. What happened there is that they had made up their mind that they were going to support Chief Abiola. And so even in the north, in the population centers of the north, like in Kanu, in Kaduna, and in all of these areas, they voted overwhelmingly for Chief MKO Abiola because their leaders, people like Abubakar Rimi, people like Sheikh Musa Yaradua, Atiku Abubakar, Solomon La, and all of them, they all said that, look, they stood behind Chief Abiola. Chief Abiola won because of the votes of the north and then the votes that he got in the southwest. If those people had not cooperated with Chief Abiola, he would not have won the election. That's what I'm telling you. If there is cooperation between the northwest, the northeast, and the southwest, they will always produce the president, and that is a fact.
Okay, can I respond?
Yes, sir.
I agree with you up to the point when we had the primaries in Jos in March 1993. Yes, he had to bring in Major General Yaradua to persuade Atiku Abubakar to step down for MKO Abiola. But as for the general elections, you see, and that's what I want you to know, you cannot become a president if you don't have something. It's not just a question of course, there are accidental presidents, maybe somebody dies and then moving. But in most cases, you would have been planning for it. You can see Atiku has been planning since 1993. He's here to get it. 1993. Since then, he's been planning. He's not been able to. Then you have an accidental president like Obasanjo who was in prison, and some people decided that, okay, they were going to bring him together and all, package something and bring him anyway. Or someone like Yaradua also, who was also packaged, and then, but in Abiola's case, he worked for it. He had touched every part of Nigeria. In fact, if they knew he was going to win, the election would not have held in the first instance. That's why they had to abort the baby after the baby had been born. That's what happened to MKO. They never, I can tell you, on June 9, 1993, Chief Abiola sent me to Austria to go and represent him. Chief Ganifa was getting the Bruno Kreisky Award in Austria. So I went in there. And the night on my way to the airport, I went to see Chief Abiola about 3 days to election. And the place was empty, unusually empty. And I asked Chief, what's going on? He said, that he knows that he's being monitored by the government and that he wants to give them the impression that he cannot win the election. There was a man with him that night. He told me that he knew they sent him to come and spy on him, but I shouldn't worry. And then he gave me the letter for Chief Fawemi and the money to spend on my trip, and I left Nigeria. I can tell you that Chief Abiola outsmarted them. They wanted to cancel the election. You forgot they went to court, even in the middle of the night. They did not want him at all. That's why, out of desperation, the election had to be aborted. I am telling you today that if you have a popular candidate who has done his homework very well and can lock down the South and lockdown. Now the North Central can go either way because people are angry because of the herdsmen crisis and all that. Of course, you will always get some people in Northeast and Northwest. You will win. And you can see the case of Buhari. 3 times he couldn't win election because he couldn't cross those barriers. He had mad followership in the Northwest and the Northeast, but that was not sufficient enough for him to become the president of Nigeria. So that means that you cannot win. It's the North that puts you there. Trust me, I don't believe it. Mathematically, I don't believe it. And it's something that I've also done most of my life. Yes.
But that is not what I said. Egbon, I need you to listen to me again, and I'm going to say it again. I said that if the Northwest, listen to me carefully, please. If the Northwest and the Northeast collaborate with the Southwest, by their voting strength, they will always produce the president. Now, I'm not saying that the person has to be a Northerner or the person has to be, the person can be from anywhere. But by their voting power, if the Northwest and the Northeast collaborate with the Southwest, they will always produce a president. That's what I'm saying, and that's a mathematical fact.
Well, I can tell you for free that without the South-South, the Southeast, you're also missing a fact that Nigeria is divided between 2 major political parties. Today you have APC and you have PDP. When Obasanjo ran, okay, Obasanjo was a Yoruba man who was not liked by the Yorubas. They didn't like the fact that he was being forced on them. In fact, he lost a lot of places in Yoruba land. But because the Republicans, okay, like who are now the PDP, because they had people, South today, forget about some governors cross-carpeting and running to the other party. They are still largely controlled by the PDP. You agree to that? Southeast is still largely a PDP affair. They are very strong in those areas, okay? So that's why I'm telling you that it's not just about Southwest and the North controlling power all the time. Because what you are then saying is that an Igbo man will never be president of Nigeria. And so that brings me to the next question, because I don't want us to forget the trend. What do you think would happen between now and 2023? Do you foresee the same theory you are propounding now, that it will be a battle of the Northwest, Northeast, and Southwest combining against the rest?
Well, for 2023, what I see, my projection is this. There's this gentleman's agreement between the APC, between Muhammadu Buhari and Bola Tinubu. And if they give their presidential ticket to Bola Tinubu and the PDP gives their presidential tickets to a Northerner, it's going to be almost impossible for Bola Tinubu to win the election. Now, if the APC knows that, and they are not stupid, they will most likely want to give their tickets to a Northerner. Because if they give their tickets to Bola Tinubu and the PDP gives their ticket to a Northerner, it's almost certain that the PDP is going to win the election.
Please take that again. Please take that again. I didn't get that, please. Can you take it again?
Okay. I'll take it again.
Yeah.
I'll take it again. I said my prognosis for 2023 is this, is that there is a gentleman's agreement between Muhammadu Buhari and Bola Tinubu that after Muhammadu Buhari, Bola Tinubu will be next. Now, if the APC does that and the PDP gives their ticket to a Northerner, a popular Northerner, the PDP is likely to win that election. And the APC are not fools. They know that. So right now, they are in a quagmire. If you look at the statement that was made by Malam Boni just 3 days ago, when the governor of Cross River cross-carpeted to the APC, he said something, and a lot of people missed that. He said, look, anybody can contest for the APC ticket. Now, that's a slap in the face of Bola Tinubu. So you see, I look at the Southeast, for example, I really, really love the Southeast. And if you see a lot of my articles, because I mean, the ingenuity of people of Southeast origin, I mean, I really appreciate it a lot, I went to Inewi, I've seen what they can do. But in terms of real politics, except you have a situation in 1999 situation whereby the rest of Nigeria, or rather the part that we said, okay, let's leave it. APC, PDP, you are both the parties that control the power structure of Nigeria. Both of you produce Igbo candidates, and nobody will be allowed to contest. Except they do that, I don't see. I mean, the Igbo presidency is more or less going to be like a pipe dream. It's going to be like a pipe dream, So if you look at the real politics of it, right now, look at what happens during what's it called now, NSAS. Look at in the southwest, in Lagos, businesses in Lagos, they were putting big banners. This hotel does not belong to Tinubu. This bakery does not belong to Tinubu. This publishing house does not belong to Tinubu. And then buildings that belong to Tinubu, like the nation's publishing house, their printing press, were burnt. Other buildings were attacked. Tinubu is not that popular even in the southwest as it used to be the case where he produced former President Buhari. What happened in 2014, 2015? Right now there's been so much damage by herdsmen. There's been so much damage by bandits. There's been so much nepotism by the Buhari administration that it has affected the popularity of Bola Tinubu in the southwest. So the APC, they're going to be sitting, they're going to be thinking, they're going to be asking themselves that, look, what are we going to do if we give it to this man? There's a very, very big chance that we're going to lose to the PDP. And these people don't want to lose power. So I'm speaking in parables. I'm not going to say more than that.
So, but why are you limiting APC to Tinubu? There are other people in APC who are Southerners and who are from Southwest. Of course, you have the current Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Of course, you have the chairman of the Governors Forum, Dr. Kayode Fayemi. Of course, you have Ambode, former governor of Lagos State. You have Babatunde Raji Fashola. You have a lot of people from Southwest who are in APC. Yes, but I don't know why you are limiting it only to Tinubu and you are not thinking that they could actually have a joker in the others.
Dele, I'm going to say this, and I you know how much I love you.
I love you too, right? You know that.
Okay, but Dele, I look at politics dispassionately. And the reason why I look at politics dispassionately is because I'm Ishekiri by tribe. You talked about Bayelsa being the smallest state. My tribe, Ishekiri, is the smallest tribe in Nigeria. And we are a very influential people because we understand our size. And because we are small in number, we remove completely emotion. We divorce emotion from how we play politics. In terms of voting, if we put an Ishekiri candidate, miracles can happen, but we are so small. How is it going to happen in a country like Nigeria that is tribal based? So that is the way I reason. I reason dispassionately and I reason unemotionally. If you take anybody in the southwest for the APC, Bola Tinubu, and that person is not Bola Tinubu will undermine that person. It doesn't matter whether it is Vice President Yemi Osinbajo or Kayode Fayemi or Babatunde Raji Fashola, Bola Tinubu is set on becoming president. And if he doesn't get that ticket and the APC gives it to another person of Southwest origin who is not Bola Tinubu himself will use his machine politics to undermine that person. That is my opinion.
I believe that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is smarter than that. Trust me. I've worked closely with him now for some time, in almost 3 decades, and I know him. He is very smart. If he sees that there is no road ahead for him, trust me, he's a master tactician. He will align with somebody. It's better for him to have a protege of himself. It happened in the case of Osinbajo. Bola Tinubu wanted to be vice president. Everybody knew that. But he sacrificed his own at the end of the day when he realized that, okay, maybe at that stage, there were going to be some issues. And Buhari said, okay, pick some names, and then that was how Osinbajo emerged. But that's not even my.
That is not accurate.
And no, I am
That
telling you. I am telling you what I know. You were in PDP. I can tell you that at that time.
It doesn't matter. I was a presidential spokesman. We had information about what was happening.
They were misinforming you.
Sacrifice anything. No, they were not misinforming. Let me tell you, Bola Tinubu did not sacrifice anything. They had done their political calculations, and then they found out that if they had a Muslim ticket, they would not be able to win that election. And then Bola Tinubu was forced to abandon his ambition and then told to nominate the.
But he did not support. Osinbajo. But he did not support Osinbajo when he knew he couldn't go anywhere. And so you are confirming what I said.
I am in agreement with you.
Okay, fantastic.
I am in agreement with you. But what you said is that he sacrificed. No, Bola Tinubu did not sacrifice.
That is still a sacrifice. Like you said he will go against the person. But I'm giving you an example of when he did not go against the person. You said he will go again, and I'm telling you today, as a matter of fact, that if Tinubu sees that there is no road ahead for him, because there could still be the same argument of this Muslim ticket, I think it has become a very volatile issue. So he would rather have one of his own proteges than losing out completely. Who will he support if he doesn't support his own protege? That's what I'm saying. I tell you, that's one. What about this theory that the South, and I'm talking about the entire South, must insist that the two political parties must agree to power coming to the South? That's phase one. Phase two is that in the South, fortunately, one side is pro-PDP, another side is pro-APC. So let the Southwest that is pro-APC produce a Southern candidate from Southwest, while the South and Southeast that are pro-PDP would have a candidate from there. How about that? Southwest APC candidate, Southeast PDP candidate.
It's a good idea, but we are talking about politics and power. Nobody, look, the reason why they did that in 1999 is because General Ibrahim Babangida, Ibrahim Gusso, and General Abdulsalami Abubakar were afraid that Nigeria was going to break up. And the North, I mean, it might upset you if you're a Northerner and you're watching this, but the North is economically tied to the South, and they didn't want the breakup of Nigeria, so it was a sacrifice. Now, except you are going to have...
So you are saying they will now permanently produce the president of Nigeria. You think after Buhari, the South will be at peace with that again? That they will just accept...
That's not what I'm saying.
No, so please, I want you to say it very well, sir.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, you asked a specific question, and you said that what if APC in the Southwest produced one Southern candidate, and then PDP in the South and Southeast produces another Southern candidate? I said, look, that is like almost nursery school. That okay, I will do like this and you will do like that. No, that's not how politics work. Power, this is power. Everybody wants power. Nobody's going to give it to you. So you have to. This is what they call real politics. You have to strategize. And when you look at the strategy in place right now, as far as I'm concerned, I would prefer to have the best president, the best president of Nigerian origin. And if you ask me, if you're going to ask me, who do I think will make the best president, I would say, and it's going to upset a lot of people, but I would say Peter Obi. Peter Obi would be an absolutely fabulous president. If Peter Obi were president of Nigeria, Nigeria would be like Dubai in a matter of years. But I am a realist. I'm a pragmatic person. The way I see what's happening, look, the APC right now, they are struggling to say, look, how are we going to come out from this gentleman's agreement? Because if we give this thing to Bola Tinubu and the PDP give their tickets to a Northerner, look, they are going to get it.
Well, as I said, I still disagree with that. Unless you could see what happened last week when the southern governors, for the first time, came together and said, no, enough of this open grazing. We are not going to allow it. You see, it's because people feel so docile. People feel so squeamish. And there is this master-servant relationship between the North and the South. That is why you would think in a party where without the Tinubus, there would have been no Buhari. Buhari tried 3 times. He had CPC, he was in AMPP, he went around the country. He could not win. So why would you tell me that you cannot produce a southern candidate in the 2 parties? At any rate, I'll move to the next one. There is this agitation right now. There is Biafra nation, there is Yoruba nation, and all. What is your attitude to all this agitation? Because some people don't even want to hear all these stories we're talking about the next election. They don't believe there will be an election, and I'm talking about highly placed people in the South. They are not interested at all.
Well, here's the thing, the issue with the Yoruba nation and then the Biafra nation is if Nnamdi Kanu had the kind of personality that Sunday Igboho had, I can see that it's going to be a possibility. If Nnamdi Kanu, but you see, Nnamdi and these people, I know how. They can be very, very militant, and I know they're going to attack me. But you see, Sunday Igboho is willing to suppress his ego. Sunday Igboho is willing to work with Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafran people. He's very, very willing. And Sunday Igboho is someone that I respect a lot. But if you look at some of the comments by Nnamdi Kanu and some of the things he says, it is very, very upset people in the Oodua nation, people in Sunday Igboho's camp. If Nnamdi Kanu can try to be doing and to mind the thing that the British put together, like Nigeria, 3 artificial nations that were forced to be together that were a bit incompatible. And those 3 nations were India, Sudan, and Nigeria. Those 3 nations, India broke up Pakistan and Bangladesh. Then Sudan broke up. Sudan broke up into Sudan and Southern Sudan. Nigeria is the only country left of those 2 countries that the British put together artificially that were kind of incompatible. And so there is that possibility that the Oodua nation, Sunday Igboho is somebody that is highly, highly underrated. The man is very, very intelligent, knows how to suppress his ego in place of his policy, his strategy, and his principles. I don't see Nnamdi Kanu having that. I'm not saying that I'm against you. Don't come and attack me.
Reno, I've never known you to be afraid.
No, the day, listen to this, the day that I counseled Nnamdi Kanu, I said, look, mind the things that we say, that there are people that want to support you. There are people that have sympathy for you. But when you keep on saying all these things, that if you go to a church, a Yoruba church, if you go to Redeem, you are an idiot. When you begin to say all these kind of things, that it will alienate you from people who want to support you. That day, I got death threats. I got so many people sending me emails. I didn't like that. And I'm not afraid of death.
No.
But, I would rather not go into that.
No. I can tell you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has really, really come a long way. If you have faced the kind of fire he has faced, you become fully radicalized. I've had occasion to interview him and we've interacted briefly, and I believe he has actually improved on his PR. His PR is solid. Trust me, his PR right now is solid. Yes, occasionally he can get angry, but you can't blame anybody getting angry over Nigeria. Nigeria is a mess. Anybody will get angry. But I can tell you that in Nnamdi Kanu, there have been 2 occasions I invited him on impromptu basis to join a Zoom where we're doing a golden handshake between the Southwest and the Southeast, and he came on both occasions. And he was very mild-mannered. He even apologized when I challenged him on a video that was released during the NSAS, where they were telling people to go and attack in Lagos and all that. And he said he won't do that again, and he has not done it ever since. I can tell you there are people who are very close to him, and they talk to him all the time that, hey, this is the fair.
If he can maintain,
I can tell you that he is a much more focused, much more matured person today. I can tell you, even in one of his broadcasts, he said it there that if he still believed in Nigeria, he would support Dele Momodu for president. And I said, me, I'm not interested in any presidency or anything. I just want to face my job. That's why I'm talking to you. So, but I can tell you that a few of us, we will do everything possible to make sure that this new relationship, especially in the South, works. I'm not interested in any political office. Let me say that, because people always think, hey, everybody is interested in political office. No. But I can tell you that he's doing very well, and we will continue to encourage him. No human being is perfect. No human being is perfect.
Let me just end this on this note, is that Nnamdi Kanu is someone that has achieved what nobody has achieved in Nigeria. Now, some people talk about Ojukwu. Yes, Ojukwu was a military governor appointed by Ironsi, and so he had a platform. Nnamdi Kanu did not have a platform. He built his own platform by himself, and then he has gotten to almost, like mythical status in the Southeast. Now, if as what you're saying, he has grown and then he has disciplined himself, and he's not going to make some kind of comments that will alienate other people in the South. Honestly speaking, I mean, I see him and Sunday Igboho collaborating with Gani Adams. Look, there's no telling where things can go. In fact, they might be the people that might actually force these parties to say, okay, we have to restructure. Even if we cannot give, even if we cannot have a southern president, but we must restructure. Otherwise, this country is not going to survive.
No, I can tell you for free that both Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Chief Sunday Igboho Adeyemo, they have passed the stage of restructuring. So let's waste our time on that. They have passed. And my prayers are always with them. You see, because they know why they are saying enough. This is not the first time people are talking about restructuring. This is not the first time people are complaining about the injustice in Nigeria. So maybe some of us who still talk Nigeria were the foolish ones. So I'm willing to give that to them, that at least they have the courage of their conviction. They are very convinced that, look, you guys are wasting your time, and we must not discourage anybody. Everything is possible on the table right now. Anything is possible. So if you and I are not ready to join them on the streets or in the trenches, we should not be the ones to discourage them.
Please, I will urge you maybe to not frame it that way. I did not discourage them. I encouraged them. I said, this is what I said. I encouraged them, and I said that if Mazi Kanu can move beyond some of the things that he said in the past, that it will go a long way. And then you said that he has told that he's moved beyond that, and I agree. So
I listened to even his recent interview with the Ugandan journalist in Kenya. I mean, it was absolutely fabulous. Go on. Yeah, go on, please.
No, but that's the thing, and we don't have to overflow this now. What I'm saying is that since you are saying that he has grown beyond that, then we are on the same page. I did not say anything against him. I said that as long as he can measure himself and not say things that will alienate I mean, if you have a leader like that, and then you cannot really help him to say, okay, these are the parts where you might be erring, you're not helping him. I'm not discouraging him at all. Not at all. I'm not discouraging at all. And I'm glad that you have said that, okay, he's moved beyond that. It's a good thing. Now, we can now move on. You know, there's me and you, there's no disagreement. We are on the same page.
Okay. Now, yes, I just wanted us to touch the different areas. Those who want restructuring, those who want election in 2023, those who want Yoruba Nation, those who want Biafra. I just wanted us to be able to touch some of these things. Then there are those who feel that, oh, despite our challenges, we should still try to manage this marriage, no matter how inconvenient it is. And they are saying, why are we limiting ourselves to PDP, APC? For me, I am very practical. Politics is a game of mathematics. There is no question about that. And even in America, you are going to have two mainstream political parties. And that's why even Donald Trump, with all his money, he had to hijack the Republican Party. But in Nigeria, people are speaking of a third force. People are talking about the younger people. I'm still having this argument with my very good friend, Professor Kingsley Moghalu, who I believe will make a fantastic candidate. But Kingsley is saying he does not want to be in APC to win an election, need the platform. So do you think a third force is possible?
Well, I disagree with you there that it's about APC and PDP and you need them. You really don't. And I'm going to prove it to you. Like I said, I deal with these things dispassionately. If you look at the 2011 election, you had Muhammadu Buhari, and within a matter of 8 months, he had built a new party from the scratch because he had problems with the All Nigeria People's Party. He built the CPC with a man called Buba Galadima. They built it. It was Buhari and Buba Galadima, and they were able to go far. They were able to secure 12 million votes. So it's not about parties. In the PDP and in the APC, it is individuals who make these parties. I'll give you a very good example. In the APC, 2 individuals are strengthening and propping up that party. That's Muhammadu Buhari and Bola Tinubu. So it's about individuals. The same thing you can talk about that in the PDP. In the PDP, there are 3 individuals who are really propping up that party. In the PDP, 3 individuals. I don't want to mention their names because.
Why not? You have to mention them. If you mention the APC, you must mention yours. Yes, I insist.
I will mention their names. In the PDP, Wike, Atiku, and Saraki are the 3 individuals who are using their personality
out of it.
No. The reason why I left my boss out is because my boss is above party. My boss is like President Obasanjo. He is above party. My boss is Nigeria.
Oh, they still go to him to have PDP consultations.
No. You're not getting me right. My boss is above party. My boss is Nigeria. There are people in the APC who are willing to vote for my boss in their millions. There are people in the PDP who are willing to vote for my boss in their millions. My boss is above APC PDP. My boss is a political force on his own. Goodluck Jonathan has demonstrated by force of character that he is a political force on his own.
Okay, before we come to your boss, let's continue where we were about the third force. We will come to your boss. There's no way I won't speak about your boss. Yes.
So what I'm saying there is that if you are able to gather the individuals who can mobilize people, then it is those individuals that will give you the numbers you're looking for. Forget about a platform or a party. No. I'll give you a very good example. Now, let's talk about the United States. In the United States, the Republican Party has surrendered almost to Donald Trump, even though he lost the election.
And why didn't he run on his own without the party? Why didn't he go as an independent candidate? Why did they have to use their structure?
no, you're not getting me. You're not getting me. And I need you to understand me, because sometimes I say something and then you misunderstand me. You try to look. I'm not saying that you need a party, but in that party, it is individuals that make that party. So what I'm saying there is that for this third force, if you're not thinking in terms of party, look at what Emmanuel Macron did in France. Emmanuel Macron with a black girl, I forgot where the girl is originally from. I think she might be from Cameroon, but I can't really remember. She might be, but I'm pretty sure it's Cameroon. Emmanuel Macron with this black girl who was a strategist. They came, and then without the party, they just had a movement. And then look at what has happened. It's brought Emmanuel Macron to power. So that's the thing. It is people that make a party. It's not a party that make people. And we see the same thing with in Germany. In Germany, Angela Merkel's party was not a very powerful party 16 years ago during the time of Helmut Kohl. But then they had individuals that came in, and then they brought her because she was very, very popular. You know, she was very popular in the former Eastern Bloc, and then they brought her, and she made that party what it is, and now right now she's become the longest-serving female leader in Europe. So what I'm saying there is that you need, if somebody like Kingsley Moghalu wants to build a thought force, he shouldn't be thinking about party. He should be thinking about individuals. Then those individuals will go in and then hijack a party, maybe like the Labour Party. Maybe like but you think about the individuals that can give power to a party. I hope I've made myself clear.
Yes, and let me also make myself clear. I was a presidential candidate in 2011, and I was under the same illusion that it was possible for me to hijack the Labour Party, galvanize the workers of Nigeria into a workers' platform and everything. It's not as simple as that, sir. The structures for Buhari to win, you yourself said it, that he had CPC, he was the ANPP, he was everything. Don't forget, he was former head of state. Don't forget, he had some powerful people who were supporting him. He did not win. So how did he? Wait now. I allowed you to finish. Let me finish. Now, for him to win, he had to come into a larger party. He didn't stay within CPC and so Tinubu come and join me there. This one come and no. He had to go into some other parties. And some people had to fund him. And I'm not talking some of the people he would have called bad guys in those days. He faced reality. He realized that a good man or a saint will never win without sinners. So he had to bring in people, and they started spending money. Saraki, Amechi, Tinubu. He said what?
Are you saying that Buhari is a good man?
No, I said at least in quote at that time he was the last saint standing, and everybody else was regarded as sinners. But it took those sinners for him to become president. That's why I'm telling you that Kingsley Moghalu and co. Number one, 2 years is too short a time for anybody to build a third force. That one I can place a bet on it. It's impossible. You will still need to go and realign with one of the top two parties. And my solution to that is let those who come from the PDP stronghold, like Kingsley Moghalu and Peter Obi, let them be in PDP and slug it out, get the ticket. In the southwest, where the APC is very strong, let Tinubu or Shibaju or any of the other guys I mentioned earlier, let them slug it out and get it. That's the only way. There's no other way. That a third force will happen. I told Donald Duke before the last election when he said he was going to SDP, I told him, don't waste your time. And, even Kingsley Moghalu, Omoyele Sowore and the other guys could not even agree on a consensus candidate. So how would they do it?
I'm not a promoter of the third force, but I was
okay. Then we can move. Then we can move on. Then we can move on. I have two more questions. The first one is, why couldn't President Jonathan and President Olusegun Obasanjo manage their differences well? But for that fight between the two of them, there will be no Buhari today. I think they presented, the presidency to Buhari on the platter.
Well, that's going to be a very difficult question to answer. You have to understand that you're dealing with personalities, and you're dealing with personalities. The one that I can say publicly, which is also in my book, is that, when you're going into politics, you need to clarify expectations. I'm going to say that again so you don't misunderstand me. You need to clarify expectations because you have to understand human nature. With human nature, for instance, if I don't like you, maybe you are Yoruba and I don't like you because you are Yoruba, I'm not going to tell people that I don't like you because you are Yoruba. I will tell people that, oh, I don't like you. I will give logical reasons. I will hide the emotional reason why I don't like you, and I'll give logical reasons. So with former President Jonathan, I think that he did not clarify expectations in 2011 because some people, and President Obasanjo was among them, were under this impression that former President Jonathan had agreed to contest for only one term. And he hadn't made such an agreement, he hadn't given such an understanding, he hadn't given, whether in writing or whether verbally. So there was that misunderstanding, maybe by some body language or by some just. I really know what it is, but there was that. There was no clarity of expectations. So one man was being like, okay, good. So this man is going to go there and is going to do only one term. And if you recall, the very first time that former President Olusegun Obasanjo mounted the campaign trail not the first time, the last time he mounted the campaign trail with former President Jonathan in 2011 when they were campaigning, he said that former President Jonathan was going to do one term. He was the one that was saying it. And former President Jonathan did not give any such undertaking. So there was that crisis of expectation. So in my own humble opinion, I would say that is it. But beyond that, you might have to ask the two dramatists personnel.
Okay, the final question is very simple. I know for a fact, and I pray you don't deny it, that there is a lot of pressure on President Jonathan to come back. Some people believe, especially in, like you said, it cuts across. There are people in APC that they need a unifier at this time, that Nigeria is too close to the precipice. Do you think it is possible he will consider that pressure and accept?
I mean, obviously, it's only going to be a very blatant liar who will deny that there's pressure. Of course, there is pressure. Former President Jonathan, to the best of my knowledge, and this is somebody that, I speak to him almost daily, sometimes multiple times in a day. He's very focused, very, very focused. The presidency is not in his mind. It's not something that he discussed with me. And to the best of my knowledge, it's not something that he's discussed with other people. Yes, people go and meet him. They go and meet him. But it's not something, this is not a power-hungry person. It's not a power monger. What I know, as I speak to you right now today, he's in Ghana. He's in Ghana building peace. We went to Ghana for the ECOWAS a summit of wise men. He's very focused on building peace, on building democracy on the African continent. And left to me, I would think that if the man himself right now, I just believe that he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize with what he has done. We saw what he did in Mali. After the coup in Mali, even if you had read the Economist, they said that it was not going to be possible that Mali was going to descend into war after the August 18 coup in Mali. But he went there. He went there, I think 9 days after the coup. He went there August 27. He met with the coup leaders. He was able to persuade them to drop their arms. Then he persuaded them to release the elected president that they had arrested. The man was released. And then he convinced them to accept an interim leader. That was the former defense minister. Convinced them to accept Bush's. And then he went to Mali 7 times at great risk himself. He went to Mali 7 times, and when he went to Mali, he went into the hinterland, the parts where they were actually killing people. Put himself at great risk. I would say that former President Jonathan, is a greater candidate for the Nobel Peace Prize The Nigerian presidency, my own personal opinion, if you were to contest against anybody, he would win. He would defeat. He's probably, in my opinion, the only southern. I believe that, in my opinion, he's the only southern candidate that can win in 2023. But I don't think that the man is really interested in that. I think that his focus is on building peace on the African continent.
So why wouldn't he consider coming back to build that peace for Nigeria? Because right now, we're not even sure that any election can take place in 2023 at the rate we're going. So why do you think, if he's a patriot, and I know him to be a patriot, why would you not consider anything that will rescue Nigeria today, if not for the fact that President Obasanjo had done 2 terms? Maybe some people would have also considered him. At least he knew how to work well with the North. So since President Jonathan knows how to work well with the North, though at the end of the day they fell apart, but I think now the North needs him more than he needs them. So that's why I'm asking the question. Because the North also, I'm sure they are also looking for an escape route from all this crisis. They are spoiling their names, people are attacking them, people are abusing them, people believe they've destroyed Nigeria. That's why I disagree with you that the 2 political parties would even consider a northern candidate again. If they want to save Nigeria, they had better come down south, one PDP, let them go south, southeast, and let APC go southwest, and then let the 2 of them face themselves. I think that's the only thing. So why would you not consider, and you want him to win the Nobel Peace Prize? He will win it. After all, the president of Liberia, Madam Johnson Sirleaf, won the Nobel. He shared the Nobel Peace Prize in Liberia. After she became president, Nelson Mandela won the peace thing with de Klerk. So it can happen in Nigeria. So why would he waste such an opportunity?
Well, here's the thing. What I would say, and I'm not former President Jonathan, I'm very close to him, but what I would say is this. Former President Jonathan is a patriot, and he has a consistent history of always doing what is right for Nigeria. And former President Jonathan is not going to deviate from that history.
Okay. My dear brother Reno, I know I've put you on the hot seat today, but I want to thank you for accepting at short notice.
Very hot seat.
A very hot seat, I know. I know, because of the love that we have for each other. I know if it was someone else, you would have thrown a few punches today, but you were quite calm because you were speaking to your Egbo. But that's fine. I appreciate you, and we will continue to be friends. I love you. Take good care of yourself.
Thank you, Egbo.
And have a very great evening. We'll speak after. Okay, thank you. And to my viewers and listeners, thank you so much. It's been hot. It's been very, very hot. Thank
you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Okay. Laba Media, thank you.
Nice one.
It was full of fireworks everywhere.
You should have allowed us to ask questions.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, next time. Okay, next time. Okay, next time we will consider that. So I'm very sorry, but usually the style of my interview. Okay, next time by the grace of God. But my style is not to interrupt my questions. If you sent those who sent questions by text, I took some of them. If we allow everybody to talk, then there will be no interview. So please, that's my own style.
You put yourself on mute, sir. Hello?
No, it's okay. I said if I allowed everybody to ask questions, there will be no interview. And this is an interview. It is not a mass discussion. So those who typed their questions, no, I can't call him back. Somebody said I should call him back. The interview is over. Those who typed their questions, I took their questions. So next time, please type your questions and we'll pick the questions at random. There is no way I would have allowed a riotous session on my platform. I don't do that. That's not my style. This is going to be transcribed. This is going to be transcribed, and then we will publish it. So if everybody was talking at the same time, there would have been no interview. So sorry that you didn't know that you could type. People were typing, even on Instagram, on Facebook, people were typing. I was checking for different comments, and so I always base my interview on interactions based on text messages, not on people. You know the way people are. You say talk for 1 minute, some people will talk for 10 minutes. If you stop them, they say you are rude to them. So we just wanted to be fair to all. Thank you so much. Professor Fiamari, how are you? I can see you. Oh, the video is saved. That's not a problem. If you go on my Facebook page in the next few minutes, you'll be able to watch everything. If you go on Instagram, same thing. And then I'm sure Ovation International Television will put this also on YouTube. So it's available. That's not a problem. So I thank you all for your patience, for your love, and we will announce our next guest very soon. Thank you, and thank you. I'm reading all your comments. Thank you so much. Sam 91 babe, thank you. And good night, everybody on who joined us on Zoom. Thank you for your understanding. I respect you all. Thank you. Thank you
so much.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, go on, sir. Sir?
I would like to find out, is there a possibility of getting the former president on your platform?
You mean President Jonathan?
Yes.
Well, I'll try again. I've tried him before. I'll try again. I'll probably call him tonight in Ghana. I know he's in Ghana, so I'll probably speak to him if I can reach him. Yeah, I'll talk to him. But I know he is trying to avoid interviews that may add petrol to the fire in Nigeria right now. Everybody's avoiding that. It's normal because you never know what you will say, and some people will just capitalize on it, you know. That's the problem.
His opinion may be of great help.
Even I've tried to reach President Buhari himself, you know, but his handlers told me, oh no, the president will not want to talk at this time. I tried to get the vice president. He agreed that his spokesperson, Pastor Lalu Akode, could talk to me, and that's why I interviewed Lalu Akode the other time. So I'm yet to get the vice president. I'm hoping we'll keep trying. You know that if they will talk to anybody, they will talk to me because they know I'm very mellow. I'm not a rude person who will bring you on my program to be disgraced by anybody, you know. So everybody's afraid of social media. You should understand that not everybody can come. You could see now people fighting me that I didn't allow them to speak and how I had to calm everybody down. It's not everybody that has that kind of magic, you know. Sorry if I'm boasting, but that's the truth. You know, thank you.
Was proud of you. The other person I have on in my mind is Tinubu. Bola Tinubu, is this someone you're also looking at?
Yes, but everybody, as I said, I mean, in his own case, there is no way you can talk to Tinubu now and not ask him about his presidential ambition or supposed presidential ambition, and I'm sure he would not want to talk about it. I met with him last year. I went to sit with him one-on-one, just the two of us, and so I know his views on a lot of things, you know, and he's a man who is extremely controversial right now. Everybody, is either you love him or you hate him, you know. It's life. When you're a great man, life is like that. Some people will love you totally, some people will hate you absolutely, you know. So, and the best thing for him is not anytime he talks, some people will like it, some people will misconstrue it. So what can you do? So I keep trying. So we'll continue to try, and hopefully we can get all of them to speak to us. I want to speak to the governor of Lagos State. I'm saying it publicly now, so that he has promised me that he will find the time, you know. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to do it. I'm speaking to his aides as well. I'm speaking to his consultants. We want everybody. I've already interviewed FFK, the person who said FFK. I've interviewed Donald Duke. I've interviewed a lot of people. I've interviewed Fayose. I've interviewed Fashola. I've interviewed Fayemi. I've interviewed a lot of them.
You considered interviewing Atiku Abubakar as well?
Yes, I've approached Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. I believe he might talk. He's a very, very mature politician. He's always on top of issues. He might talk. He's the only one I believe is confident enough to talk. He might talk. So now that you've mentioned him, I'll send him a text tonight, and hopefully he would agree. It's just that everybody's just trying to avoid any costly mistake at the moment. Nobody wants to get into unnecessary trouble, especially with the young ones. The young ones are so angry with the older generation, and I've interviewed Peter Obi already. I've interviewed Donald Duke.
How about Buba Galadima?
I believe that I've watched him very closely, and too many people have interviewed him. I don't like repetition, so I like fresh angles. He's been over-interviewed as far as I'm concerned. But the time we come again, when we can, because then we can talk to him. Yes, I've interviewed Chief Sunday Igboho Adeyemo. I've interviewed him. I've tried. I've interviewed Dino Menaye. I've interviewed almost everybody. I'm looking for Senator. I'm looking for the former Senate President, Bukola Saraki. I would love to interview former Senate President, Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki. He's also a very intelligent man I would like to speak to. So if any of his guys are watching, please let him know. I will also send him a text again. It's just that everybody is just trying to hide their heads under the parapet,
What about Obadiah Malai?
Yes, I've also watched too many of his interviews. That's why, yes, I love him. He's a fantastic, intelligent man. It would be nice to speak to him sometime, but I'm waiting a bit, when we have something fresh to talk about. I would love to.
How about Wike or Amechi?
Oh, I've interviewed Wike, I've interviewed Amechi. I'm one of the few people who have succeeded in interview both of them on different platforms. So I'm close to both of them, which is a rarity. It's a magic for you to to be close to both of them.
Dele, good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma. How are you, ma?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm trying my best. Thank you, ma.
Please, I would really want us to get Hope Udodum online to interview him, please.
If you have his contact. I used to know him way back, but he's now governor. So if you have his contact, why not? Me, I don't discriminate. I interview everybody. I don't discriminate at all.
All right.
Thank you. If you have his contact, so please, no problem. I will talk to him. Yes, I'm working on Baba Iyabo, former President Obasanjo. He will be the biggest fish for me to catch this year, and I will try everything possible to get him. Yeah. He is not afraid to talk. He is a very intelligent, leader. After Mandela, for me, is the biggest fish in Africa. So we may not have full respect for him at home, like all prophets suffer, but he's played his part, and I respect him a great deal.
What about him?
Who?
Sir, what about interviewing the people that are not political, maybe the youth, that we can have the perspective of the...
I've interviewed a lot of the youths. I've interviewed Shore. I've interviewed Kingsley Moghalu. So they are young people, not necessarily politicians. Oh, I've interviewed even fashion designers. I've interviewed even Bobrisky. I've interviewed Tonto Dike. I interview everybody. I cut across. I'm one of the few people. I'm the only 61-year-old journalist that you will find interviewing even people who are much younger. Erica, the Erica of the Big Brother Nigeria, I interviewed. So I talk to everybody. As I said, I don't discriminate at all. Yes, Senator Abaribe. Yes, I'm trying to get him. I will try to get him. Senator Chris Anyawutu, I'm trying to get to speak to her.
What I'm trying to suggest is that if there is a platform where a situation where the electorate would have, that enabling environment to also speak their mind. Because look, let's be honest to ourselves. What is happening in Nigeria today is between the elites and the people from the grassroots. As far as I'm concerned, that's where the bone of contention is. This elite of ours could be politicians. They've all got their own interest. But look, I've never seen a country where the interest of the masses would always be suppressed. Leave it on to the people to decide. If we can actually get a platform where we could say, okay, let's sort of try to put up an artificial vote maybe to see what's going on. What do you guys think in a voting platform? Maybe on your end, I think we can be, making headway. I don't know. I'm just like suggesting something.
Yeah,
like that.
well, for me, I like to be very productive. I don't like chaos. So I want a situation where I can interview people, gather questions from you, my viewers, and put it across to them. But if you allow everybody to speak on any platform, trust me, it's going to be a marketplace interview, and it will be of no use to anybody. This interview now we're going to transcribe. By this Saturday, it should be ready. We will put it on our online newspaper, the Boss newspaper, and everybody can enjoy it. And we will spread it on Twitter and everywhere, so everybody can enjoy it. That's more productive than if everybody come and we're having staccato voices, everybody speaking at the same time, abusing, attacking, and all that. I have other platforms. If you're on Twitter, I have another one now. It's called Spaces. If you come on Space on Twitter, then we raise issues. Like this morning, I started it just today. I asked, is Nigeria worth dying for? And a lot of people, a few hundreds, came in and spoke their minds, why they will not die for Nigeria or why they are ready to die for Nigeria. Those are the kind of, I want to be productive. I'm not getting younger, so I want to contribute to nation building. And if the nation refuses to build, then it's better to allow people to go in peace and not in pieces. That's my attitude, So, thank you so much. Let me go now. I think it's about 10 o'clock, and I have a lot of work to do early tomorrow morning. So, thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye. Good night, my Facebook.